Hello, listeners. This is Jesse.
This is Greg.
And you're listening to Spoilers Are Good Actually, a podcast where we revisit our old favorite shows and talk about how knowing the ending affects our experience the second time through.
Today we're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Chapter 11, The Great Divide. The format of this podcast is that we will start with a spoiler-free section and then we'll move on to a spoiler section. We encourage listeners to either watch all of Avatar and be fine with the spoilers or just accept spoilers as they are, because this podcast is not as good if you only listen to the spoiler-free section. But we will give you notice beforehand before we move on to the spoiler section. Don't worry, you'll figure it out.
And one quick content note, Avatar: The Last Airbender is a kid's show, but this is not a kid's podcast. While we won't be going into any more mature or adult themes than the ones in the show, we will be using adult language, so listener be warned.
All right, it's The Great Divide.
Isn't it?
Don't really need to talk too much about this one. You don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah. How many notes did you have?
Zero. I couldn't even form thoughts about this episode because I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's pretty much consensus. If you're new to the Avatar fandom, everybody pretty much agrees that this is the worst episode of the show, with varying degrees of hatred, I think.
At least the worst episode of season 1, and season 1's the weakest of the 3 seasons. There are arguments for some other episodes, but this one, we agree it's one of the worst ones.
It's one of like 2, maybe 3 episodes that you can argue is just filler.
Yeah.
That doesn't have any plot at all, and like, yes, it is trying to have some character moments and like build on Aang's role as the Avatar, but it's not very successful at that, and it's also not that fun.
No, it's not.
So on that note, I'll let you know the one note that I did write down, actually, but that was just a few minutes ago while preparing for this podcast, is I did write my 10-word summary. So what I wrote is, everyone is petty, Aang's a liar, waste of my time.
My 10-word summary was, Aang tells a lie to end a really strange feud. Yeah, I mean, like, that's it, though.
That's all that happens.
That's all that happens.
And then there's weird, scary bug creatures. Disgusting. Who asked for that?
Those are great.
No!
Canyon colors are awesome.
Don't you dare. I know you don't think that, and you're just saying it to upset me.
No, I think the creatures are really cool, and I'm glad that we only have them here, but I thought they were probably one of the most interesting parts of the episode. What? You don't like bugs, but like, no, it kind of emphasized the like horror of the entire situation. I like that.
They're disgusting.
I mean, yeah, but that's the point. So like, you know, we're basically gonna be flying off of my notes for this episode. There's not too much that really goes on that's notable. They go to this one canyon, and typically you just fly over it. And you know, that was a question that I even had when I was watching. Like, why don't they just fly over this dumb canyon? They don't, because Appa is holding the sick and the elderly for these 2 feuding tribes. The 2 tribes are caricatures. There's one that's wearing, like, I don't know, fucking furs and shit. And one where literally everyone is dressed like royalty. With
ridiculous.
With no variance, no, you know, like they're all dressed like a monolith. They don't look any different from each other, which is not, you know, like, contrast with the pirate episode where almost everybody had a different outfit on, despite the fact that like they all came from, you know, despite the fact that we still have our uniforms, right? You've got your Earth Kingdom uniform and your Fire Nation uniform and shit. We still see people dressed in all kinds of garb. Even Haru's like village had people dressed less uniformly than like these 2, and it was just weird.
They're just not interesting.
No.
Like, I couldn't even like Big Lady, which is usually like my shit. Normally, yeah. I see large woman, and that's instant connection. But she was just not interesting. And again, just like this caricature of somebody who is sloppy and gross and stupid.
Yeah.
And then being like a fat woman does not sit right with me.
Yeah. There were a few things that were like kind of cool, kind of interesting. For one thing, we've got like, I don't remember anything else. I don't remember this is happening before, but like we had these really cool different art styles that they had when they were like showing the two like points of view. And, you know, it also reflected the like kind of people telling the story, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess if I have one positive thing to say about the episode, it's that the use of art styles to convey the unreliable narrators on each side of the story is pretty interesting. Yeah. Like you said, the actual stylization of the animation itself really reflected the stereotypes about the tribe.
I also they also did that with the music too. I was saying that like they've got this like deep rumbly kind of stuff for the not Ganjins and the like, you know, highfalutin high society music for the Ganjin, and it was really nice. I thought I loved the music in Avatar. I thought it was really cool. I liked the way they did that. But the plot was not worth paying attention to. The characters were not memorable, as you can tell from the fact that I don't remember one of the villages' names. They all apparently got their villages destroyed by the Fire Nation, which is interesting. They were all on their way to the Earth Kingdom capital, Ba Sing Se, and apparently they have to travel together. Katara at this point is waterbending well enough to like consistently water whip the canyon crawlers. Mm-hmm. Nice to see that progress happening. And we had like this cool, I enjoyed the fact that we just used the prisoner's dilemma in here. You know, I
did not.
The gist of it was nobody can bring food in here. Everyone has an option. Either listen to the guy and don't bring food, or bring food. If you don't bring food, and the other people do bring food, you're in danger and you're hungry. If the other people do bring food and you bring food, you're all in danger, but you're not hungry. And if the other people don't bring food, but you bring food, yeah, you're all in danger, but you're not hungry. And if nobody brings food, then like you're all fine. But like,
you're all hungry.
You're all hungry. You're all hungry. That's true, but you're not in danger.
Yeah.
But you know, like that requires you to trust the other side. And we, you know, after meeting these guys for like 5 minutes, you're like, oh, they don't trust each other at fucking all. And so, one side's like, you're gonna trust those Zhangs? I think it's the Zhangs and the Ganjin. Anyway,
fuck if I know.
Ganjin dude was like, you're gonna those dirty. I'm gonna say Zhangs, and we're just gonna pretend that that's correct. I'll say that I was wrong next episode if I am.
We could just look it up.
No, we're not doing that right now. That's not worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, like we'll do the like, you know, the Ganjin dude was like, you think the Zhangs are gonna like aren't gonna eat food? They're going to bring food. And then the Zhang leader wasn't saying we're bringing food. She said they think we're bringing food, so they brought food, so we're bringing food, which is 100% correct. Every aspect of that analysis was correct.
It's just so annoying. I don't care about these people. They didn't give us any like redeeming qualities or personalities for me to give a shit. They tried to make it tied to like a conflict between Katara and Sokka. But their argument at the beginning of the episode was
also
stupid.
Petty.
Like their entire thing was just overblown.
Yeah.
Sure, it would make sense for them to like bicker. That's not out of character. But the way they were absolutely fucking screaming at each other over just like putting up a tent.
Yeah. Not a tent, the tarp over the tent.
Right.
Yeah. No, they are.
And then they keep that grudge for most of the rest of the episode. It just doesn't make any sense.
They let go of the waterbending scroll faster than they let go of the tarp.
It's so dumb. And so you're sitting here thinking about how Katara and Sokka are acting fucking ridiculous. And then you're supposed to like empathize with that in order to connect with these two tribes of people that we have never met before. Mm. And it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't find the prisoner's dilemma interesting at all. I find it frustrating and not funny, and just leave me alone. So there's nothing. There's nothing to like. There's no Zuko and Iroh. Appa's gone. The fucking, what is there?
We found out how canyons were formed in the Avatar universe according to the guide.
Sure.
You know what it is? Do you remember? It wasn't rivers like normal.
I'm sure it was still rivers.
It was earth spirits.
Uh-huh.
I wrote that down. The guy said he didn't say erosion over thousands of years,
the truth.
We don't know how it works in the Avatar,
Yes, we do. Don't. Come on.
Yeah, no, he was like, earth spirits made the Grand Canyon, the deepest canyon in the world.
I'm sick of you. Let's keep moving. I want to be done with this. I don't want to talk about this episode anymore. It's so bad.
All right, let's complain about the actual thing. So the story that they had makes it's frustrating on a lot of levels because I don't get it. I think I'm like at a medium level for the kind of person that like analyzes all the details of the stories and is like, that really has to follow for me to really like it, Mm-hmm. But here it was really bothersome to me. These villagers have been at each other's throats for apparently 100 years because one guy was supposedly doing a redemption ritual, took an orb from one village to the other, because it was between Eastern and Western Gate, and apparently the Western Gate ends at their village, right?
Because they were all one village.
Right, okay, cool, yeah.
Right?
Right, something like that. And so, Eastern and Western Gate, and it's either taken from him or he loses it, whatever, probably somewhere in between there. And it's quote-unquote returned, or, or they had to, steal it back from him, whatever the fuck. But first of all, if it's a redemption ritual, then whoever the guy that was doing it had to be redeemed for something, which means that guy probably did something wrong. So I don't know why he's your hero. That's the first part. Second, we can probably figure out, we can have at least a good idea of what's going on with the orb if we know where the orb is now. If the guy stole it, then one of the villagers should have the orb now. What happened to the orb? Why is it so significant? Where is it? If the guy stole it, then maybe your village should still have it. Do we still do this ritual? Why have we not done the ritual anymore? Does it what's the significance of this ritual? Where are we going with it? What's
100 years is a long time, but we have already established a character that is over 112 years old.
Yeah, that's true. We also
I don't understand how all this history is lost and confused in 100 years.
Yeah. Maybe if you guys weren't so clean, you wouldn't live to be so old.
Stupid. Ridiculous. It's literally one generation removed. There are people now whose parents were involved in this feud.
Yeah.
And and
the guy was arrested.
And somehow nobody knows what happened. We're acting like it's this big game of telephone and it's just a mystery and we'll never know. It's just he said, she said.
This guy's put in jail for 20 years. I don't know, it's a 100-year feud for 20 years of jail. I don't know, guys. It's one dude. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. And then Aang was like, let me just tell this really dumb lie, have everyone buy it and believe it about these children that whatever did it. And it further emphasizes this whole game of telephone thing that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. It was 100 years ago. Nobody knew. That's why it got lost in translation and they were actually children, yada, yada, yada. Okay, sure. But if they were children, then that means that out of this 100-year feud, then
they were alive for most of it.
Most of
the actual people involved. If they were children 100 years ago, probably have died within the last, 30 years.
Yeah. So it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Many of y'all should have known these individuals if this actually happened 100 years ago. Nobody is interesting enough. The story is not tight enough or compelling enough.
Yeah.
And it's truly filler.
Yeah.
And I don't care. And it was painful to watch. It's painful to sit here talking about it. I wish that I could come up with something funny and snarky and make it more interesting, but it's just not fun.
Yeah, we and I apologize, listeners. We were going to do a drinking podcast for this one, and we started drinking last night, and then we went to sleep because we're old. That's really
it's true.
We just
got sleepy,
and now it's middle of the day on a Sunday, and we're like, that's just not a good look. So
we're also out of alcohol.
Right, shit. So yeah, maybe next time we find an episode that we're just really not a huge fan of, we'll do it. We'll maybe plan better next time, but you missed out this time. I'm sorry, everyone. Yeah, so we can move on to the golden fuck. We don't have one, but I do, and I think it's the only one that's really...
Yeah, I was not engaged enough with this text to come up with a golden fuck.
Yeah. The golden fuck is, I challenge anybody to find a better one for me, but it's when Aang found out that they had brought food into the canyon. He screams, "What's the matter with you? What the fuck's the matter with you?" I don't think, I think it's really straightforward. Aang was pissed that he's the only person out of all these people that didn't get to eat. And now he's also in danger because, that's what happens. And also they're still pissed off about this one guy 100 years ago that I don't fucking know. Anyway, so yeah, golden fuck goes to Aang.
Cool. So I guess we're going into the spoiler section.
Yes.
Even have anything to fucking talk about in the spoiler section.
I was going to talk about how they haven't appeared yet. How they didn't appear later on.
That's true.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, and I was going to talk about how we, the only other time that I can remember us seeing different art styles again is Korra with season 2.
Cave of Two Lovers.
Cave of Two Lovers, also that. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so we've got a few things.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me started on A Cave of Two Lovers.
I know, that's one that you singularly hate. I think you hate that one more than most people dislike it. I feel like most people kind of like it. It's memey, and also it's got the sweet romance part, and the thing is, you are very anti-Katang, and it's pushing.
It just pisses me off, yeah. But also, two lovers separated from one another. Who end a war with their love.
Wrong.
One is coded red, one is coded blue.
Wrong episode.
In this episode, in the universe where they use clothes to show their nations, and there's a red one and a blue one.
Jesse, wrong episode. I get it. You're right.
There's a red one and a blue one.
Wrong episode. We're not talking about that.
Oh my god. Don't fucking be mean to me. I don't know why you want me to suffer. I, for the first time in the 22 minutes that we have been recording, have something that I actually want to say, and you're like, no, shut up. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I love you.
Uh-huh. Do you?
I love cake.
Oh my god.
All right.
This hurts. I hate this episode.
I know. So yeah, the biggest things that I noticed here are that I feel like even the creators of the show know that this is a mistake. This episode was not good because they really talked like, I don't know about really, but they talked about how these two villages who were like going separately, now they're going together because they all love each other now. Were going to Ba Sing Se because the Fire Nation burned their village, right? We never see or hear any mention of them, despite the fact that we spend a lot of time in Ba Sing Se after this.
Yeah.
And, you know, we can't say that they like completely forgot or anything because Jet shows up in Ba Sing Se and he's from the episode before.
A ton of really small characters come back near the end.
Yeah, right. That's true.
When we just get
like,
everyone together for the Day of Black Sun. We've
yeah.
got Swamp Benders. We've got fucking T.O. and his dad.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of people who are only around for one episode come back. And these guys do not because they suck.
I mean, yeah. It's also... I also want to point out that, like, there are no benders in these villages at all. Like, because they needed the earthbender guide to help them through, and not a single one of them like did any earthbending during that fight against the canyon crawlers.
I mean, that's consistent.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that these are all mundane people who like aren't that helpful for like an actual war, right? Like we needed specialists. The only non-benders that were around during the like Day of Black Sun were like Teo and Co. and the like Water Tribe warriors. Everyone else is a bender.
Yeah, I guess.
But, like, also, we don't care about them. Narratively, we don't care about them. They're not important. They are filler. And the show, like, further emphasizes that by never bringing them back. But, like, another thing is that, like, the art style changes. It's a thing that Avatar does only occasionally. And honestly, whenever it shows up, it's generally one of the better parts of an episode that I'm not huge on. We've got, I think the most notable one is the origins. I don't know if that's actually what it is. It's, the origin story of the Avatar in season 2 of Korra. If you have not watched that, it's basically the only reason to watch season 2 of Korra, but it also, if you're
Unfortunately, you have to watch season 2 of Korra or else seasons 3 and 4 don't make sense.
Yeah. And then you're going to want to watch Hello Future Me's video about how the origin of the Avatar is really weird and inconsistent with the rest of their world building. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting, but like I enjoyed the story and it's very fun, and I love it when they change their art styles. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty consistently to tell like folk tales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other time they do it is with the Cave of Two Lovers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's like we are going to have a lot to say about the Cave of Two Lovers too.
You're acting like I'm going to cut out the argument that we had a few minutes ago.
I'm sure you're going to keep the whole thing in there.
Yep.
Anyway.
My opinions are important, even if they're not well-timed.
Go for it.
I have the power.
I'm not doubting that, and I believe that you're going to leave that in there. Either way. The art styles the art style changes are usually used in, whenever we're telling our folk tales, whenever we're telling like things that are like beyond historical, I guess, like things that are that really do go into the era of myth and legend. And apparently we wanted like
100 years ago to seem like that in this episode.
Yeah,
sure.
Like that's what they wanted. But yeah, I like when they make these like shifts in the way they present their story. It's also one of the reasons why, it's not really an art style change, but it's close enough with the Ember Island players, where like they're like it's Ember Island players is a clip episode. That's what it is. But they're making it really fun.
I like the Ember Island.
Yeah, I know.
players.
They made it. I hated it the first time I watched it. I love it every time after that. It's a clip episode though. And I love how they did it.
You're right. You're right. We fucking skipped the Korra clip episode. Mm-hmm. We struggled through the Miraculous Ladybug clip episode the other night. Mm-hmm. But the Avatar clip episode is worth watching because they used a different form of storytelling and made it interesting and gave us like fucking meta contextual reasons to be like interpreting what happened.
Yeah. But yeah, the changes in the art style are what like make these things a little bit more worth watching, right? Like it's if we saw it in the same bland style, I say bland style, the Avatar art style is very nice. It's very cool. I like it. But if it was in the exact same style as the rest of the show, it would be boring. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it would also just thematically not work as well. Because like I said before, it really emphasizes the unreliable narrators and the fact that these are stories, they're folktales, they're not just like accounts of the past. It's not historical. Listen, every other time, this is the one Avatar episode that I will skip. I dislike other episodes, a few of them, not a lot. Most episodes are quite good. This one just doesn't have enough to redeem it for me to be worth watching.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll skip it not because I dislike it so much as because it bores me.
It's just, again, it just feels like a waste of 22 minutes. In between fucking Jet and the Storm.
Oh yeah, the Storm's next. Hell yeah.
Like you're making me sit through this before like the best fucking episode of season 1.
Love the Storm.
It's a shame. So, everyone should watch it once. And then you should skip it every other time you watch the show. Spoilers don't even make it better. Spoilers just emphasize why it's fucking bad. Because we know that these people aren't important.
Yeah,
I guess first time through you might think that like, okay, this is gonna, be interesting. These are good lessons and like new characters. God, and on the note of lessons, it feels like one of the main points of the episode is to have Aang learn a lesson about being the Avatar and keeping peace and being neutral, right? There's that whole scene where the tour guide is like, it's hard to be impartial, isn't it? But that's like not even thematically consistent with the rest of the show.
That's not Aang's role this time.
He's not, the whole point is that he needs to not be neutral.
Yeah, no, you're right. There are times when you need to be neutral. But, when you're
like, he has to explicitly take a side against the Fire Nation.
Yeah. I also don't remember him being much of a peacekeeper in the rest of the series. Like, I don't.
Not really.
It's not really his role. Maybe, you've got more arguments for it after the war's over, and he's got to be, like, when he's forming Republic City, and he's got to help put together the world after the war.
But the thing is... Sorry, the Republic City was Yudao, which was a colony. And then all the other colonies become the United Republic. And in the fucking Promise comic about Yudao, Aang is explicitly on the side of the Earth Kingdom. You know who's doing the fucking compromise?
Zuko.
Katara.
Oh, damn.
Saving
Katara's
everybody's ass. Right. Every time. Like, it's literally Aang and Zuko are fighting over this.
Zuko's on the Fire Nation. Did I say Katara's on the Fire Nation? Listen,
she should be.
Yeah. I just want to listen. I just want you to listen to the clip again and see if I said Katara's on the Fire Nation.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Damn, I'm an idiot. Zuko's on the Fire Nation. Anyway, keep going.
It's just the whole conflict is you have all these colonies that have been colonized for 100 years. Multiple generations of people have grown up. It is no longer a single ethnic state. Fire Nation and Earth Kingdom citizens are living together, and they have mixed nation families, and it's this own unique environment that would not be fair or just to just turn it completely over to one nation or the other.
Right.
Obviously, if you're doing that, it goes back to the Earth Kingdom. But the whole thing is that making it Earth Kingdom and telling every single Fire Nation citizen to leave is going to be breaking up a whole bunch of families and communities that have grown over 100 years.
Yeah.
There's a difference between ending the military occupation and deporting everyone. Right? And that's what the Earth King wanted to
But
do.
what if at the beginning of that 100-year span, one guy got arrested unjustly for 20 years, and then the two sides, the Earth Kingdom side and the Fire Nation side, they've been feuding that entire time, separately from the actual war, but still, like, not happy with each other. And so Aang has to come in and say, I don't know where I'm going with this anymore.
I don't know. It wasn't funny.
I disagree.
Anyway, they're fighting over this, and Katara is the one who's like, well, what if they're independent?
Well, what if?
And then they are.
Genius.
Although, you know, Kuvira disagrees many years later. She thinks it was stolen. Which, like, fair, I guess, but...
Not fair, but keep going.
I don't know. Listen, we have said before, and we'll say again, I am a bit of a Kuvira apologist, mostly because she is scary and sexy.
Yeah, no, I'd let her kill me.
Exactly.
We...
Oh, this was more examples of the fact that Aang never really takes the peacekeeper impartial role. Ever. Yeah. Not in the series, not in the fucking post-canon.
Yeah, I mean, Korra tries to in season 2.
She tries so hard, and it just makes everything worse.
Yeah.
Because she's just, oh, honey, no brain cells.
She's such a good himbo. But you know, she actually does take the peacekeeper role. She does take the neutral party peacekeeper role seriously. She actually tries to do that.
It's just because she's so fucking gullible. She ends up helping the villains every single season.
Yeah, as it turns out, historically, at least in the Avatar universe, one might even say in real life, being neutral isn't that useful. It's just not. But I mean, that's all of my notes for this, and I know it's all of your notes. You came up with that note.
I did.
Yeah.
I don't know, even within the episode, it's not like they subverted it, right? And it was like, this is the lesson that he thinks he's learning, but actually he realized that he should have taken a side in this conflict to prevent them all from bringing the food down there, right? Like, that's not what happened.
Nope.
He had to make up a fucking lie to get them to get along. Like, what are you...
It was such a bad lie.
What are we doing with that?
And they bought it. So,
I also found the portrayal of 8-year-olds as literal babies hilarious. Because Aang's only 12. You're also a literal baby. I don't have anything else to say about that. It's just like, okay then.
He's a little baby who's going to save the world.
Okay. Anyway, I don't feel that strongly about this episode until I am forced to sit through it.
And analyze it and shit.
And think about it. And, like, try to come up with, like, 30 to 60 minutes worth of content about it that's not just complaining endlessly.
Oh, we didn't do that.
No, we didn't. No.
That's not what we did. We actually came up with complaints endlessly.
God.
It's kind of fun, though.
And it's just...
A little cathartic.
In a show that is so good and so, like... It's tight, right? Mm-hmm. There's not a ton of episodes. There's only 3 seasons. The story has a beginning, middle, and end. And it is clean. And there is character growth and plot development on noticeable, like, arcs and plot lines.
Yeah.
And then you just have this random episode that means nothing, isn't fun, kind of contradicts some things.
Yeah,
is not that enjoyable to watch. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Mm-hmm. It's not actually trash in you know, the grand scheme of, like, TV and entertainment, but it's just so much worse than the rest of this show.
Yeah.
Well, at least next time we get to talk about The Storm.
That's true.
Which is going to be so great. It's going to be the exact opposite of this episode because The Storm is perfect. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening while we talked about Book 1, Chapter 11, The Great Divide. We hope you'll join us next time when we discuss Book 1, Chapter 12, The Storm. Until then, please give us a follow over on Twitter @SpoilersAreGood. We would love to hear from you, especially if you have a defense of this episode. We're super interested in other people's takes.
Thank you. And remember, just because it's spoiled doesn't mean it's rotten unless it's this episode. Have a good afternoon.
Bye.
All right. I mean, that's all I've got. You got anything else?
Noise.
All right. Dumpster. Dump. That dumpster.
Dumpster, like this episode.
Wow. You're just really shitting.
Trash.